I'm not sure how easy it is to see there. Maybe if I put some light behind it. Basically, I plasma cut out the notches I wanted. The thing is the heat induced and stuff like that, and the fact that I created a narrow spot here, I got a bit of a warp in here. So I either need to, I'm not sure I can put it in the vise and bend it, so I may have to put it in the shop press and bend it. But it definitely picked up a little bit of warp, so I need to get that gone before I line anything else up with it. Feels like forever since I've been under. So we're to the point where I need to transfer this cardboard to something a little bit more substantial. So just found a piece of scrap sheet metal. Not exactly sure what gauge it is. Not like it really matters. Basically, I need something that'll hold this crease here tight enough. So I'm just going to do more or less loosely sketch it out there. Those 4 holes are somewhat critical in dimensions, spacing and stuff like that. They do match the other ball joint plate that, and I'll use that to do the transfer here. Now, the outline here is really not so much subject to interpretation, but it's not critical. It's the inside slots here of this cardboard template that I'm much more concerned with. So the outside I'll probably take some liberties with. The oops, that's why I drew the inside ones first. I can line it back up there. So let's see if we can get the rest of it traced out here. Okay, and I'm just going to put a couple little marks here of where I'm expecting that bend. Right around in there. Okay, so I can put this back on here now and line up those 4 holes. Okay, and then I can use a transfer punch to mark the center of each of those holes. Maybe I should do it left-handed so you can see it. Alright, should have just given me enough mark there. Yep, it did. Okay. Throw it back on here. I shouldn't have moved it to start with, but I just need a idea for the center hole there so I can, in case I need to cut it out. Okay, let's draw my line across here for where I want it bent. Because what I need to do is I need to put the bend in before I cut the tabs out. Okay, and I'm kind of thinking I want that a little bit beefier through there. Alright, these corners can get rounded off. That's really not much of an issue. And I think I'm going to beef it up there a little bit and, you know. This one here looks fine. You know, I'm not worried about rounding those corners off yet, but this one here is a little narrow. So let's just give it a little more meat there too. Okay. Get on the bandsaw and start cutting it out. Darn, I'm going to be turning the saw on. Blocking out this music. Oh. We'll give you a couple seconds up there. Alright, come on. Now you start running out of radius. It's pretty darn tight radius there. Not too worried about it. It'll clean up on this grinder, belt grinder pretty quick. Now when you do that, you're not looking to put a lot of pressure on them. Just not really pushing in. I'm just kind of dragging sideways across that, and I'm trying not to go any deeper than what I know the depth of the tooth is on there. So it cleans it up pretty good. The rest of it could actually get done with a file. So. Little belt grinder for some sharp corners now. Now, this is a pretty coarse belt. It's going to take it off pretty quick, so I just need to do just a little light cleanup. Alright, got the burrs off and stuff like that. I don't really have any kind of good angle to get in here to anything tight enough to get that radius in there. So I can either use a hand grinder or a file or something. Alright, I'm going to use a drum sander here real quick. It may clean up okay. I'm just kind of doing this for a demo right here. This is not really the best tool for this. This is good for much thicker stuff. So. The reason I say that is you can see the groove I'm cutting into there. So the next time I want to do something flatter, that's just not going to give me a smooth surface finish. So considering how small this is, I just mainly want to get rid of some of the burr and any jagged edges there. I'm not too worried about actually getting the shape perfect or anything. A finer file would be better. A deburring tool. Ooh. Yeah, we've used these before. Before. That'll actually take the edge off nicely. Cool. Okay. Alright, not quite sure how this is going to turn out. I need to put a bend in here. Okay, that was the point of the line there. You know, angle-wise, I'm going to have to readjust it a little bit over there, but I can start with something in that ballpark, mainly to get the crease started so that future bends and that stuff will be easier to keep on that. Now, if you just pull on it here, it'll create a soft bend. So what I want to do is I want to put something fairly stout in there to hold the whole thing solid at one time, and then I can, this metal's light enough, I can just pull it all over it in one, then I can I got it a little bit sharper of a bend than this, but you know, figure the cardboard's sagging a little bit. So let's that'll be pretty close. And same thing, we'll just, and I could have used a piece of angle iron, flat bar, almost anything else. I just happen to have this handy. And, oh, it's pretty darn close to the other one. We'll call it good for now. So, you can see on the back side here, it made a nice sharp line there kind of thing. And that's what we want. Alright, let's see if we can do this. I need to, I'm at the point where I really need to tack these on here. So, let's see if I can hold them. I don't think I can clamp them, but let's give it a try here. Yeah, it's big enough. Let's see if we can even come close here. Ooh. Now there's some wobble in that tube there, but dang, that was feeling pretty good. See if we can get that back on there. Nice. Okay. It's holding onto this tube nicely, pinching the fish mouth. The one thing is my push point here, okay, I want to make sure that this is not out here at an angle that was tending to pull this over. So that's nice. I'm looking down here. I've got it pretty well centered. Okay, so let's just pop a couple tacks on, and I'm going to put the tack like on the top and the bottom instead of on the sides there, just because it's going to be a whole lot easier to cut that off, break them loose later kind of thing, without having to really mess up the edges here and stuff like that. Because any of this stuff I can grind back off, and I could actually use these pieces. So okay, so let's nice. That's on there pretty nice. Flip this one around, see if we can do the same thing here. Now this one, I'm gonna have to hold it, okay? Because if you look at this, where I would clamp here, it's way out here, you know. And so let's just see if we can. I'll tell you what, though, I think I'm gonna see if I can do this. See if we can clamp that a little bit. My other one is where? Alright. Oh, that's not going to work because it gets right in the way of my tubing there at the angle. So let's come at it from down here. Hold that one there. Pop that one loose, and let's hold it there. Alright, that's a little better. Get it lined up in the middle there. Cool, and it didn't pull it. Yeah, ouch. Burns right through the gloves there. But I got the fish mouth down nice and tight. Got it in the center where I want it. So, perfect. Now, what I should probably do is take a piece of like exhaust pipe or whatever and cut it to the length I need that I can slip it down on here and the round would push on both sides. And that way I don't have this happening all the time. I may play with that, we'll see. Alright, I want a pretty straight line across the bottom here. Not real critical at this point or anything, but I'm going to do it with a cutoff wheel here. And I'm going to sink into where the arc is pretty close to touching the edges there. Then I'll cut these two on the bandsaw. That'll be nice and quick. I've got it clamped to this metal. It's overhanging so that there's actually a gap under here. I'm not quite sure it's enough gap. We'll find out here in just a second. That gives me a nice straight line. I cut it to this side, so always better to cut it short. That way you can trim it. And that side's pretty flimsy. I'm not sure what we'll see here. Alright. Go cut it on the bandsaw. Got a little welding dingleberry. A couple of them there. I don't really want it there right now because I'm getting ready to just fit the sheet metal. Now I don't have the holes in, so I'm not too sure on that, and I cut the slots narrow. Okay. So let's lift these up. And they look like they're going to settle down in there pretty nice. Okay, so I definitely want to get these holes in here, and then I can do some marking for trimming and stuff like that. Alright, what I've got here is, this is just a scrap piece of square tubing that I usually have sitting down here in the bottom, just for supporting that stuff. So what I've done here, what I'm going to do basically, now that I've messed it up, is I'm just going to clamp it in here roughly flat. This is real thin sheet metal, so it just doesn't matter that much. And position it so that the drill goes down through one of those holes, and that gives me a much better backing around this thin sheet metal, so I don't dimple it too bad. I need to go put a better center punch in there so I can see if I can find it a little easier this time. I probably should have done the other two, but oh yeah, that found its way much better. Now, I don't want to put a whole lot of pressure on that, because if the drill bit's not all that sharp, it'll bend the heck out of that metal, even with that support. So, and I'm not putting a whole lot of pressure down. And just as a note, if your drill bit bites and starts to yank this out of your hand, let go of it. Now, don't let the drill up. That way it doesn't fall down off the bottom. It'll sit here and spin on the drill. You know, you could have it on here like this, and it could be spinning wildly like this, but get your hand out of the way and shut the drill off. Don't try to stop it while it's spinning. Alright, a couple of burrs on the backside here. I'll hit them with a countersink and go test fit it. Just watch where you put your fingers on the backside. I mean, that left quite a big one there. Pushed a lot of metal out of the way. And then it's getting a bit hot when I do that. Let's go see how it fits. Very, that's what I like to see. And, you know, if I hold the screws there, look at, see, there's hardly any play there. So for just some hand fabricating, center punch, drill, that kind of stuff, that's as accurate as you ever want to be. It won't have any less play if I were to do that on the mill. So that's I got lucky for the most part, but with if you've done it a few times, you tend to get more lucky more often. So let's throw that out of the way. Let's get the washers back under here to get this spaced up where I you know, so that height-wise the sheet metal is basically in the middle of where the 3/8 plate would be. Now that I know my two holes are lined up, get that one started, wiggle that one around a little bit, get that one started. Okay, I'm gonna throw this under the end here just because that makes it easier for me to put these screws all the way in, since they're longer than the plate is deep. Okay, I'm gonna give them a little wiggle room right now, and okay, let's snug these down a bit. Okay, let's see now. I want to, doesn't matter whether I use a pencil or a Sharpie or whatever, but I'm a little wide right here and I'm a little tight right here. Okay, so I'm just going to give myself, I did it in a different color. It's still easier to see than the pencil. And I can tell that with the arc of the tubing here, that this one's going to need trimmed all the way down basically to just basically widen the hole up. And a little wide's not a problem. But our angles are a whole lot closer here, so that when I do the tracing, it gets a much more accurate. Okay, so all I'm going to do is I'm just going to go trim those openings up just a little bit here. You know, if you can see them there, this one goes right over the line there. I cut to the inside just so I could check and make sure that you know, I didn't end up cutting on this side and have it way too wide. So I need to clean up just a little bit here. Take a little off here, take a little off here, a little off here. Yeah, that's getting pretty close. All right, hopefully it'll focus where I want it. So figured I'd clamp it in the vise here and give you an idea, because if I hold the tube against the tube there, now I'm getting just a little rubbing there. Not that big a deal. That can always get adjusted in the CAD software and that stuff later, but what I want to show here is I'm looking at how I'm going to find that angle. Now, when I get that tube right about in the middle, you know, that angle needs to go back just a little bit. So, when I'm looking at the inside here too, same thing. So, I need to flatten that whole angle out just a little bit. Okay. And, does it even show the other side? Yeah. Close enough. Now, over here, when I put the bottom pretty close to the center, it needs to get tightened. Okay, roughly about the same amount the other one needs to get loosened, and it's pretty darn close for the thing there. And the point of this is that once I get the sheet metal bent, the sheet metal is rigid enough that I can take an angle reading off that. Okay, that's kind of my point here. If I was good at doing CAD, I could draw this all up in CAD and figure this all out on the computer and get those angles and everything like that. But I'm having to go about it the you know, shade tree way, basically, which is what most people would be doing, which is what I did for many years, and obviously still doing. Probably end up putting my arm in the way here, but this part down here is the part I was worried about. That's why I bent the whole thing to start with. But I think if I, well, can't hardly pull on it tight enough there, so I'm going to give it a little persuasion on the backside without trying to twist this stuff up too much. Hopefully that was enough, and then I got to basically push that one back a little bit. The vise is by far the best bending brake. Not that it's the best bending brake, it's Most shops have one, and for small parts, man, you know, you just can't beat it for how fast it works and stuff like that. So let's give that a little tap there. That way it pushes straight across, and we'll try it and see how it fits. All right, that one's sitting in there just by friction. It's rubbing enough. Let's see if I can walk around this smooth enough to not be too jittery, but you know, the gaps in the light there and that stuff, that can get adjusted. You know, when I start doing the final CAD work and stuff like that. And if it's a little on the tight side, it can always get ground open a little bit more. So angle-wise, everything's looking pretty darn close here. So now, like I said before, the space under here is because that's to basically make the sheet metal in the center of the 3/8, where the 3/8 plate would be. Okay, because if I had it flat down on here and was doing on the jig and was doing it, it would throw off some of the angles and stuff like that, and then these wouldn't be centered. So let's see here. Yeah, we can get a look at that one. Okay, now to start more or less reverse engineering the bracket to get it into CAD. Just one little note here. I've got one of those tiny neodymium, whatever they are. They're really strong little magnets and that stuff, and that's how I've got that holding there in center. I put it on the end of the tube and then brought it up, put it where I wanted it, and it's just holding the tube right where I want it. So, you know, I could probably tack weld it there if I wanted. I don't really want to tack weld the plate just yet because I want to check angles and stuff like that and get the CAD stuff going first. Once the CAD stuff is pretty darn close, then I will probably tack weld this to this and mount it up just to double check, and then I can tweak the CAD after the fact. But once it's tack welded together, it'd be real hard for me to cut it apart and then try to generate it then. So we'll see. You know, a lot of this stuff I say one way as I'm doing it, and then it turns out I do it a different way. So gives you a pretty good idea of the kind of angles and twists we've got going in there.